Alrighty guys, welcome back here to another unexpected tropical update here this afternoon. Hope everyone is doing good. Glad to have everybody here. This is not going to be as long of an update. I'm not planning it for it to be, but it is going to be another update regarding what we have now in terms of information, y'all. We do actually have ourselves the first cone of uncertainty just been issued here by the, or the first cone here issued by the Hurricane Center. And I tell you what, my friends, things are looking a little crazy with this guy. I mean, look at it. This thing's expected to be a Cat 4 as we were expecting here. Nearly Category 5. You know, just about like 17 mile an hour sustained off, you know, at the end of the forecast here. 140 sustained with gusts up to 165 overall is expected. Yeah, like I said, definitely things are going to be getting a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy with the system. Anyways, let's go ahead and see who we got here. We have Arthur. We have, see, PTC Go. We have Justin. We have Jill. We have Henry. We have Allie. We have ourselves the Odd One. We have Arthur. We have Cameron. What's up, guys? Once again, hope everyone's doing good out there. Glad to have y'all. So right now, the system is now officially a tropical depression here, with sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, with gusts getting up to tropical storm force, up to 45 miles an hour in terms of wind gusts out there. So overall, the system has definitely picked its way up here. As 11 o'clock here a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern time. This is when we had this new update roll through. I had to set up my thumbnail and everything like that, and you know, had to go live for this, you know, update here because we finally got our first advisory here from the like I said, we got our first advisory here essentially from the Hurricane Center. Let's see here. What's up, Uncle D? We have let's see here, Kai. Let's see. We also have Justin saying completely skips Cat 3. It does, doesn't it? I just realized that. Yep, it goes from Cat 2 of 110 sustained going right to 130 sustained. It just completely skips right over Cat 3. It's like, yeah, just gonna go from Cat 2 to Cat 4. But obviously, the way that this is gonna work out, yes, it's gonna reach Cat 3. It can't do that in real life. It can't jump from Cat 2 to Cat 4 in one update. You know, obviously, in real life, it's got to strengthen up to that point. It can't just be Category 1 or Category 2, and it just jumps a category. It really can't do that overall without going through the Cat 3 process and stuff like that. But let's see here. Morning, brother. How are you, says Jake? I'm doing pretty good, Jake. Hope you're doing good yourself. Glad to have you here. And like I said, you know, here for another crazy update here on the tropics. So obviously, like I said, at the point here at the end of the forecast, it has this thing sustained winds of 140 with gusts getting up to 165. This is right here for September 10th. So this is for the 10th here at 8 a.m. So basically pretty early for the 10th. And this system is set to be just to the north of Puerto Rico here. Like I said, though, I think we could probably feel some of the tidal effects out of this guy. I mean, for the most part, it's not going to directly make landfall over Puerto Rico or, you know, the northern Lesser Antilles, but I mean, the cone of uncertainty does include some of those northern islands, a couple of those very top northern islands out there overall, but like I said, it's definitely you know, it's definitely a little interesting to see what the latest cone has to offer here. And like I said, you know, once again, guys, I mean, for what happens after this for the 10th, that's still very far out. And like I said, you know, a lot can change here. We still have a lot of the same possibilities on the table here. Like I said, some of the models have this thing, you know, curving out to sea, which seems like a good option, you know, maybe out there towards Bermuda, which obviously wouldn't be good for Bermuda. But like I said, I mean, that's still kind of early talk overall. I mean, like I said, the cone of uncertainty ends pretty daggone far from, you know, what happens out here across the east. So, you know, like I just said, things can definitely change, and things will most certainly change here over the next little bit. But that's that. Let's see here. You think long range that it could hit Florida? Probably. It doesn't really seem like there's too many models that show it hitting Florida. The majority of the models, like the spaghetti models and the ensembles, kind of show this guy rolling up. Here, I'll go ahead and show you guys real quickly. Yeah, it's kind of rolling and kicking up here in long range, essentially. You know, it's a very good common ground between a lot of the models here, that the system's just going to gradually track northwest and then pull up here, you know, back out to sea. But like I said, that goes right over Bermuda, which that would put Bermuda in a really big problem, which is not good. Let's see here. One of the intensity guidance model has it really rapidly intensifying to 200. Wow. Holy cow. That is, yeah, that is crazy. Patricia type. Yeah, that's Let's hope that doesn't happen. I mean, like I said, overall, guys, I mean, this system does not really have any limitations within the first couple of days of development. I mean, so basically what I mean by that is that, I mean, first of all, the surface temperatures of the ocean are very hot. Very hot. That's going to allow for the system to rapidly strengthen here overall, which is pretty daggone crazy if you ask me. I mean, it's going to rapidly just intensify, which is nuts. And on top of that, like I said, there's a lot of moisture available, which we're going to actually, oh, we have a new GFS coming through here. This is going to be good. So let's actually go ahead and bring you guys over here to the latest and greatest GFS model here. This is actually a new run that's coming through right now. It ends right now up at, towards Lesser Antilles, but, according to the GFS, I mean, rapid strengthening is expected out of this here. And what I was talking about is that there's, no wind shear. I mean, for the first couple of days, there is, no wind shear that's aimed at the storm, so it's not going to die out from winds. I mean, maybe later in time it could have some problems with the winds, but, like I said, it looks like it's going to, it looks like it's basically going to, just chill in basically a non-windy environment overall. And on top of that, like I said, whenever it comes to the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, I mean, there's a lot of moisture. It does not seem to have any problems with that. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of no limitations on this storm. This thing is limitless for the first couple of days. So like I said, this thing can strengthen as quickly as it wants to. I mean, this thing literally has nothing holding it back right now, which is a little concerning. But like I said, later on down in its life cycle, more problems arise for the system. Maybe a little bit more drier air as it approaches. Say if it does get to the East Coast, there might be a bit of dry air kind of pulling up into it. It's a possibility, as well as increased wind shear from the jet stream. That could be a problem, for the system down in time. But like I said, right now, I mean, basically for the first 5 days here, I mean, that's you know me. Like I said, me. I don't like looking out more than 5 days there. Like I said, that's definitely something that is a bit of problems there. Let's see here. I was thinking Adalia was going. Oh, let's see. I'm thinking that Adalia was for it going out to sea. It wasn't. It was probably going to go way more west, says Tommy. Like I said, some models, like the GFS supports it. I'm curious to see what the new GFS has to show here. Yeah, definitely, definitely that. See, it's just hard to believe that it's going to turn northwest, especially such a straight track following the older storms, I suppose. It could definitely stay straight and impact Florida. We waited a week. Yeah, like I said, there's no for sure saying that it's going to come near Florida. I mean, honestly, if I was to say, I'd vote against it because, there's really no model showing this thing in the long range getting near it. It seems like it's just going to pull out and go out to sea for the most part. But like I was explaining before here, is that we're going to have a big ridge and a big area of high pressure somewhere across either the northeast or out in the north kind of central Atlantic here. Depending on the position of this high pressure and how strong it's going to be, that will probably funnel it, like I said, potentially could funnel it towards the East Coast, which obviously would not be good. That's the only scenario if the high pressure is pretty strong just east of where the cyclone would end up being. Now, for example, like I said, if in the most, hopefully the most likely scenario, what it kind of seems to be, high pressure still remain across the northeast, which could, basically ricochet and basically bounce off the storm overall. Let's hope that happens. Let's see. John says, hello, new to the channel. Well, thank you for joining, John. Let's say glad to have you here. It's always good to have new supporters and new people here. But John, hope you're doing good. Let's see, any chance at all this thing doesn't pull to north as rapidly? And they say it's going to. Any chance of a northeast Caribbean impact? So you're talking about it getting further down, kind of going under here, right? How it doesn't pull up far north. So, like I said, the cone of uncertainty, obviously the center of the storm, is expected at its lowest point to remain, like I said, at the absolute lowest point is expected to be right in here, according to the Hurricane Center. So the odds are very unlikely, considering a lot of the main models, the main hurricane models, like the spaghetti models you probably have heard of before, which they're now coming through, I think. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull up some of those hurricane models. It actually doesn't look like they're up anymore. Well, what's going on here? Well, here's the earlier hurricane models. You can see how they're pretty much bunched together here for the most part. And you can actually see how they, there's really no models to have it going through the Caribbean. So the odds of that is, like I said, very unlikely, considering the models are, actually pretty good on the track overall. So yeah. How am I doing today, says Haley? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing good as well. Let's see here. What does it look like for Nova Scotia? So, like I said, there was some support from a couple of models, basically showing that it could get launched up. Once again, depends on that position of that high pressure system. I think, obviously, like I said, once again, if the high pressure is further east than expected, that would be kind of not a good thing for the U.S. As that could, in theory, funnel it closer to the U.S. coast. But like I said, at the moment, if you want to know my personal opinion, first of all, like I said, it's way too far out to tell. There's still a lot that can change here. And like I said, a lot will change by the time it gets near these areas. So, like I said, I still think that there's nothing that's ruled out right now. The only thing I'd say it's pretty much ruled out, obviously, is the fact of it going right through the Lesser Antilles. And, for the people who think it's going to hit Florida, I don't see much model support showing it at right now. Like I said, I don't see much model support showing it right now. But I'd say it's not really as likely. I'd say, obviously, if I was to put money on it, if I was to bet for it, I'd say Bermuda is a lot more at risk than Florida would be overall. Let's see here. There's no wind shear on the storm. Oh, yeah. No, there's absolutely no wind shear. There's a lot of moisture, and like I said, the surface temperatures of the ocean are very hot. Very, very hot overall, which is crazy. Let's see. Good afternoon in Connecticut. Definitely keeping an eye on it. Like I said, got to keep an eye on it regardless. Like I said, if you're across the U.S. East Coast, I would monitor the system because there's still a lot of unknowns. There is still a lot of unknowns with this. I'm not saying it will hit the East Coast, but I'm saying, I'm not saying it's impossible either. Because there's just so much that we don't know. I mean, like I said, for example, at the end of the current Hurricane Center forecast, I mean, this thing's supposed to be kind of a middle Category 4. Very, very strong hurricane here. Sustained winds of 140 with gusts up to 165. Like I said, that is right here for the 10th, for the 10th of September here at 8 a.m. So in terms of that, you can see still how far away it is from the East Coast, even at that later track. That's 5 days from now. That is literally over 5 days from now. And you can see that models are not perfect. It's hard to forecast, past 5 days in general. So, like I said, I definitely think that, I definitely do think that this thing, still the U.S. East Coast landfall is not ruled out. Not ruled out. Is there a chance it could become a Cat 5? I think it could. Like I said, considering the amount of, no limitations that's on the system, I really think it could reach Cat 5, personally. Like I said, this thing is set to just rapidly strengthen like crazy. Let's see here. Is there any chance for a hurricane for Louisiana this year? I mean, the hurricane season's almost at a peak. It's nothing, nothing's impossible. We ain't towards the end yet, but there is no systems right now that's known to go in the Gulf anytime soon. So, not anything too soon. Did I see what happened to Horseshoe Beach? Oh no. Was that the place that got hit by that hurricane? Yep, right here. Yep, we were covering it. Trust me, I was there for it all. It was crazy. 7.5 hours of coverage on Idalia there. Pretty nuts. Let's see here. Do either way. We have to wait for it to make its way towards us. No worries. So far, for at least a week. Yeah, I mean, I would say, like I said, obviously, we'll definitely know a lot more information by the time it gets here to the 10th. I mean, because like I said, from the point where it's at right now, like I said, it's right here right now. Sustained winds of 35 with gusts up to 45. Right now, it's a tropical depression. Tropical depression 13. It is actually expected to strengthen into a tropical storm today. It is supposed to be a tropical storm today, with sustained winds of sustained winds of 45. Obviously, with gusts getting up to 60 here later on today, right around 8:00 p.m. Eastern. So it'll grab its name here, which is going to be Lee. This storm will be named Lee here. But yeah, so Lee is going to develop here later on this evening for today. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. I'm gonna be doing another live stream later for coverage around 8:00. So whenever I go live for that, then we'll definitely need to look at it. But yeah, rapid development. It looks like Cat 1's gonna grow here for. Like I said, what it looks like from the Hurricane Center is going to grow to a Cat 1 basically for the morning of the 7th, turn into a Cat 2 for the morning of the 8th, turn into a Cat 4 for the 9th at 8:00. So you can see rapid strengthening as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, obviously Puerto Rico. I mean, like I was saying, I mean, even though there's not going to be a direct landfall, or not expected to see a direct landfall across these regions of, obviously the Caribbean, we're not expecting a direct landfall. But does not mean they're not going to feel any effects from it. Because like I said, there's going to be some strong rip currents. With these systems, they rotate counterclockwise very heavily. So we're going to get a potential surging across Puerto Rico. I'd even say, it's like the waves or the water moving away from the shorelines here across, the northern Lesser Antilles, which could lead to some rip currents and, basically the winds blowing away from the coast, which is pulling the water back away from the coast. So that's going to, if the people lose out that, it's going to pull them back into the water, which is not good. So rip currents and maybe even some surging could be a possibility for Puerto Rico. I mean, regardless, I'm not going to say it's going to be anything too extreme, but, it's not going to be as extreme if it made direct landfall, no, but we're probably going to notice a bit of maybe some mild swelling, at least, being a possibility out there towards those regions there. Let's see here. 140 is the highest I've ever seen for the first forecast, to be honest. Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty crazy. Like I said, this is the first Hurricane Center forecast, and they have it up to 140 sustained at the end of the forecast here, with gusts getting up to 165. That is an absolute beast of a storm. Like I said, I knew it was going to be pretty daggone crazy, and like I said, I can't say that I'm surprised, honestly. I'm really not. Because, like I said, obviously, I was kind of expecting this to happen. Cat 4, Cat 5. I'd even still say Cat 5's a possibility out there. Let's see here. What would be the effects for Bermuda? So it depends on the track, obviously, in terms of the intensity as well. But Bermuda could be at risk for the storm because, like I said, in the long range, it is expected to potentially pull up to the north here. Like I said, we're still watching to see how far west it goes, or when it starts pulling up north. There's a lot of unknown still, but Bermuda should watch it. Obviously, if it makes direct landfall, that would not be good for Bermuda. That would not be good overall. Let's see here. This is a crazy outlook. Unsurprised though. Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because we were kind of talking about this for the last day or so. Not surprised. This thing's looking pretty good. And actually, in terms of the latest satellite imagery, y'all, look how good it is now. I mean, it looks healthy. It looks very, a lot better than it did, yesterday. I mean, look at that thing. Central low is right here. We got that, big old convective burst happening right there towards the center now. I mean, if you remember yesterday in the live stream, the update we did, basically there was a lot of thunderstorms on the outer skirts of that low pressure system, not really towards the center. So this thing has definitely organized itself a lot better in the last couple of hours. So, definitely. Henry says could shift last minute though. I mean, like I said, once again, I think that, pretty much anything is possible still, considering how far out the system still is. I mean, like I said, for example, it's just going to be north of the Lesser Antilles and north of Puerto Rico almost. This is for, like I said, the 10th, which is 5 days from now. So that's very far out. And, like I said, typically forecasting 5+ days out is not really something that's easy to do. Overall. So like I said, there's a lot that can still happen, by the time we get new models and stuff like that, overall. Let's see here. Toby says, should East Coast U.S. and the states closest to the coast be watching, like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida? It would not hurt, definitely, to watch out for the storm here. I mean, like I said, right now, there's no guarantees it's going to make landfall on the U.S. East Coast, so there's nothing, I'm not going to say prepare for it right now, because we don't know where it's going to end up. I mean, most of the models seem to take it out to sea for the most part, but, you never know. We have a few freak GFS model runs that shows this thing getting awfully close to the U.S. Northeast, so... like I said, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, because more than likely, personally, what I believe is that it's probably going to get kicked out to sea, but still cause some rip currents for the U.S. East Coast. Like I said, regardless, I think there will be some impacts regarding the rip currents, for the East Coast there, overall. Let's see here. Yeah, see, I'll keep an eye on this one. Yeah, definitely should. See, Weird Flex says, this content is amazing. Thank you, Weird Flex. It's greatly appreciated, man. Like I said, I try to do the best I can to give y'all the most truthful and most accurate information I can. And like I said, once again, we just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen at this point here. I mean, we have an idea of what potentially could happen, and that idea is that it could pull north. Could pull north. Now, is that set in stone? Not really, but it's, it's a good possibility. I think it has a better chance of pulling to the north than it does to just continue working its way to the coast as of now. I think that's a good yes. Let's see. Does anyone think that 95 is again strong enough to feed off the Gulf Stream and ride the east coast of the U.S.? So it'll definitely maintain some strength before it approaches like the Mid-Atlantic, or let's get the same latitude as the Mid-Atlantic there. But the Gulf Stream, obviously, the warm current of water that kind of rushes off the Mid-Atlantic. It could have something to do with the amount of strength overall that it has, but that also you also need to take other factors in consideration, like the wind shear and the moisture supply as well. Am I doing storm coverage later? Yes, Henry, I am. Yep, we've been busy today. Like I said, we did a live stream this morning on the tropics. Then we got our first advisory, and I'm like, yeah, I better go back live for you guys because, once again, this is not something to mess around with here. Definitely got to get that information out as early as possible. Like I said, obviously the reason we're here now is just to tell you guys there's a big system that's heading, in the direction to the west that needs to be watched. Let's see here. See, all of the well-known storms were forecasted to be a Category 1, like Dorian, Irma, Idalia. These storms are just built different. Yeah, I mean, like I said, in the beginning of Idalia, whenever they had it just at Cat 1, I had a strong feeling it was going to be stronger than that. You guys, if you were here during that, my forecasts, like we're doing right now for this system, if y'all were here for Idalia's forecasts, I mean, you heard me say, I think it was going to be Cat 4, Cat 3, Cat 4, and that's what it did. I mean, it had that eyewall replacement cycle right as it approached the Big Bend here in Florida, which it, downgraded from Cat 4 to Cat 3 just before making landfall, which was good because, it shaved off about 5 to 10 mile an hour sustained winds, which was great. Like I said, the last thing Florida needs is another hurricane, which, like I said, as of now, I don't see that being a big probability. Honestly, like I said, I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that Florida is not going to get impacted by this system. But, once again, this is still 5 days from the point of it being right here. So there still is a lot of unknowns here. Let's see here. Knight says, I do remember that. Yeah. No, honestly, it seemed like my forecast was pretty good. I mean, I'm definitely proud of what I did on that forecast for sure. Do I think Ontario will be possibly for an impact if it does shift directions? Probably not. No, more than likely no, because, I mean, say worst case scenario, okay? Say worst case scenario. Well, remember, this is hypothetical. This is not what's going to happen. But say worst case scenario. Say if it does get towards the U.S. East Coast, and say if it does get towards the Northeast, more than likely, that high pressure, that's just going to keep it, mostly around here. Depending, like I said, obviously, the high pressure would more than likely actually be over here. And would probably keep it away from those areas inland. Obviously, it would weaken a lot more. It would weaken a heck of a lot more by the time it reaches those regions, even if it was to go that way. But the odds are very unlikely. I still say it's very unlikely. Let's see here. But yeah, no, I don't think Ontario will really feel this at all. I mean, probably not. Like I said, I mean, once again, though, we're not exactly sure where this thing's going to end up in the long range, but we have an idea of it pulling out to sea here. Like I said, obviously Bermuda, I think Bermuda needs to watch this. I would definitely say if you're definitely going to if you're going on vacation to Bermuda or whatever, I would keep an eye out there for it. Haley says, Andrew, you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Haley. Like I said, y'all, trying to do the best I can here. All right, let's go and hop back actually over to the GFS. Once again, we got a new run coming through. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, so the run's not done yet, but we got a few more frames in here, and it's looking a little interesting. Let's go ahead and hop you guys over here to the American. So, like I said, the American GFS was the one that's been pretty daggone crazy for the last couple of days here. So let's go ahead and drag you guys over there right now. So there's the GFS in its last frame. You can see rapid intensification. System grows very large. I mean, you can see how small it is starting out, average size hurricane. But then at the end, you can see just how much bigger it gets. I mean, it gets a lot of juice. A lot of juice out there, which seems to be a good possibility. That little speck you see right there, it's very hard to make out on the screen, but where my crosshairs are, that little itty-bitty speck right there, that is Bermuda. And you can see the system kind of has it kind of getting a little too close to Bermuda for my liking. But like I was saying, it's this guy. It's this high pressure system we need to watch out for. Because like I said, if it ends up out here by the time the storm's up in this area, that could funnel it towards the U.S. East Coast. Which, like I said, I don't see that as a ruled out scenario yet, but I'm not really expecting it to. Let's say, I hope not, but like I said, for the safety of you guys, just keep an eye on it on the U.S. East Coast in general. Like I was saying, more than likely the storm is going to probably get out to sea there, but go really close to Bermuda to my liking in general. Let's see. Mary Ann says, let's see. Thank you. Checking in from Jersey Shore where tropical storm put a steel roller coaster in the Atlantic. Wait, what? Where a tropical storm put a steel roller coaster into the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, wow, that's not good. I thought you meant like they built one in the ocean. I'm like, wait, what? Why did they do that? But anyways, but yeah, well, like I said, definitely need to watch out for this. I mean, like I said, from what we do know, though, like I said, from what we understand right now, is the fact that this thing 5 days from now will be just north here of Puerto Rico, just north of Puerto Rico, overall. So, like I said, at this point here for the 10th, it's still going to be pretty daggone far away, like I said, from the east coast of the United States, and even still pretty daggone far away from Bermuda. So, I mean, this is like 10 plus days out of it being in this region in here. So, obviously we cannot forecast 10 days out. Whoever you watch that says they can forecast 10 days out, you might want to find a better meteorologist, because, I mean, you cannot forecast 10 days out accurately all the time. Now, there is sometimes you can have some model agreement, that far out, and sometimes it does end up playing that way, but not all the time you can do that, okay? Not all the time you can do that, but like I said, I really don't like forecasting past 5 days because of the amount of agreement, or the amount of disagreement there is between the models, but overall, I mean, like I said, from that 5 day point here, the storm should just be north of north of Puerto Rico, north of the Lesser Antilles here overall. See your hurricane coverage guru. Yeah, like I said, we had to do an update this morning too, but I was not expecting this thing to. I mean, I'm not surprised that they issued those advisories at 11, but if I knew they're going to issue those advisories at 11, I would have waited to go live. But let's see here. What app am I using for tracking Hurricane Lee's track? This is Radar Omega. Everybody asks me that every day, every live stream. What program are you using? Not a sponsor or anything. Like I said, I don't care about sponsorships, really. I'm never going to put a sponsorship on the channel, because obviously I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. I'm not in it for the money. But this is Radar Omega. I mean, it is a program that you pay for. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and recommend it to you, because, like I said, sponsors not my thing. Let's see here. The path is a little north of the Turks. Do I believe it may change to a direct hit? Like I said, I don't really think so. I think this thing is just going to pull north of the Lesser Antilles and pull north of Puerto Rico. I know you're saying by the Turks and stuff like that. It's quite unlikely, I'd say. It's quite unlikely, because most of the long-range support does have this thing pulling north. All the main models do actually show that. I mean, at some degree. Some pulling further west than others. I mean, you can see a couple of those ensembles here from the GEFS model here. I mean, it shows a couple of those model runs going near those areas of the Bahamas. But for the most part, you can see those runs keep it mostly to the north here overall. So, like I said, I'm really strong to believe that the system will do a curvature like this. I mean, it's not just the ensemble showing that too. I mean, we have the GFS model. Yeah, there we go. There's that new run. We actually got a cold front kicking off there. You can see on that low pressure system. Honestly, that would probably help it keep away from the U.S. East Coast now. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So we got a low pressure system with a cold front swinging down according to the GFS. That would honestly, it could still definitely get real close to the coastline. It still definitely could cause some impacts, for tidal issues and stuff like that. But, like I said, that could help it from, digging its way into U.S. soil for the most part. Let's see here. I'm an American living in the Philippines. Do I do typhoon reports in the West Pacific? Not really. No, I mostly keep it in the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic, the North Atlantic, anyways. So, like I said, I'm only a one guy, so if I focus on all severe weather in the U.S. So, there's only so much I can do. I wish I could cover everything, but unfortunately, I can't cover every single thing here. But I do my best what I can do. With the tropics here in the United States, and just in the Eastern Pacific and in the Atlantic overall. Let's see here. Oh, DJ, you finally made it, dude. Yeah, you finally made it. But yeah, no, you did hear me right. That is a cold front potential there. in the long range support here from the GFS, it is a cold front potential there, which could definitely be a nice little cooldown for a much needed much needed time period. It's been very hot. I mean, right now I'm in Louisville, Kentucky right now, and the temperature is 86 right now, which might not sound so bad, but personally it's a little too warm for my liking. Let's see here. Jeffrey says, I think it'll go into the Gulf. Nah, I don't think so. I really don't think so. The obviously the models and stuff like that. No models picking that up anymore. I mean, at all. I mean, hardly any of them at all are even picking that up. I mean, we do have a couple ensembles that are showing, it may be getting near the Gulf. Let me go ahead and show you, but the majority of them are not supporting that. Here, look. A few ensembles. Wait, hold on. Wrong screen. There we go. This is the right screen. But yeah, a couple ensembles you can see, right in this region, continuing west, but majority, pulls up north here. Yeah, according to the GEPS ensembles, and here's the GEFS ensembles pulling it up north as well. So I don't think so. I don't think that's a probability at this moment. Oh, let's see. I have bad timing. Well, I'm glad that you're here now. That's for sure. But anyways, yeah, no, once again, everybody, we did just get our first Hurricane Center update here at 11 a.m. This was about an hour and a half ago. We got this update here, y'all. Like I said, right now, the system is a tropical depression. Sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, getting up to gusts getting up to 45 overall. In terms of when it becomes a tropical storm, by today. It is actually expected to become a tropical storm here by today, kind of right around the evening hours here. Overall, we're talking sustained winds of 45 with gusts getting up to 60 overall. And as we work our way out there to basically, the 7th, so basically the day after tomorrow, right around 8 a.m. or so, this system is expected to turn into a hurricane. Yeah, it is expected to turn into a hurricane overall. See, Category 2 expected for the 8th around 8 a.m. Let's see here, Category 4, 8 a.m. for the 9th. So, yeah. Let's see here. Hurricane Florence, they said it was going to curve out, be a fish storm, but end up hitting the East Coast. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's definitely not ruled out. I mean, considering, like I said, really, this system here, I mean, at the 5-day marker, like I said, is right here. It's going to be right here, just north of the Lesser Antilles and just shyly to the northeast here of Puerto Rico. Like I said, I mean, it's possible. It is definitely possible. I mean, it is definitely a overall possibility in which, like I said, the U.S. East Coast, like I said many times, should monitor this. Absolutely. Let's see here. But, right now, like I said, obviously, I'm going off of the models that we have available to us at the moment. And like I said, all the main models do have this thing not pulling a Dorian at the moment. Like, here we go. I'm going to show you guys back to the GFS. We have some more runs coming through. According to the... oh, wow, look at that. Oh, I'm curious to see what this model's going to show. Holy cow. Yeah, look at that thing. That thing's getting a little too close to the U.S. coast. Yeah, the GFS has been pretty reliant on the system. Yeah, you see that kind of sudden western shift here? Oh my gosh, dude. Oh wow. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that new GFS run. That is crazy. Let's see, no new European model yet. But with the 12 Zulu GFS, that's going to be oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see. Let's see here. Definitely wasn't feeling Hurricane Idalia, however you spell it. However you spell it. Idalia. I think that's how you say it. I'm not even sure how you say the name still. I think it's Idalia. I used to call it Idalia. Or Idala. But like I said, the name of this guy, if you guys are wondering what the name of this storm is going to be, this is going to be Hurricane Lee. Hurricane Lee. See, U-turn Lee. Yep. But yeah, I'm curious to see what the GFS does on those further runs here overall. Let's take a look at the CMC. Okay, CMC model has a continuous west motion here. Yeah, it's where the model ends. But right here for September, actually, this is showing September 11th, 10th and 11th here. Moving pretty daggone slow, actually. The system is actually moving pretty slow. It's forecasted to be moving a little slow. But like I said, I mean, it's for September 11th, which is 6 days, it's going to be right here according to this model. There's a lot of time for things to change, guys. There's a lot of time for things to change. That's what I want to make very clear, is that this is not final. This is like really early word of the storm here. So, like I said, anything can definitely change here, you know, for the most part. You know, basically, like I said, the system's right in here somewhere. And by the time it's getting here, it's like 5 days from now. And then we have like another 5 days by the time it does whatever it wants to do overall. Let's see here. Lee is much easier to pronounce. Oh, yeah, I agree. Lee. knowing my pronunciation, it's going to be Lay, not Lee. Let's see here. Tornadoes was crazy when I heard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Adalia had some big problems in Charleston, apparently. That car got flipped over. Yeah, that's crazy. Luckily, there's no one injured, though. Everyone was okay with that. But anyways, let's go and hop back to the GFS here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's getting a little close for comfort. The new GFS has this thing, so that high pressure is still to the east. Is that thing funneling it right in? Ooh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like this model at all. Let's hope this doesn't happen, because it's getting a little too scarily close here in the latest run from the GFS. I mean, that thing's getting right next to the Mid-Atlantic here. Let's see here. As strong as that thing is going to get, and is as close, could still be bad. Yeah, no, honestly, like I said, there's going to be a problem more than likely. I mean, considering like what Franklin did overall. You know, for the U.S. East Coast, even if there's not a direct landfall, which let's hope there's not, but even if there's not, there is going to be a, you know, a rip current concern. So for the people who's traveling to the East Coast for, you know, vacation on the beach and whatever, it wouldn't be a smart thing to go in the water, really, because of that. You know, go way out in the water anyways. I mean, you could, you know, dip your toes in the water and stuff like that, but just don't go out deep into the water, because then you're going to get pulled away from those rip currents, which would not be a good thing overall. See, anxiously watching from New Jersey, says Chris. Yeah, like I said, obviously, you know, there's still a lot of unknowns right now. There's nothing to freak out about. Honestly, I get it's a little crazy, but you know, we'll just have to keep on watching it. You know, like I said, we're gonna keep you guys updated. Once again, I'm gonna be doing about two live streams per day on the system to keep you guys informed and to keep you guys updated overall. Because, you know, like I said, this system is, you know, we're definitely gonna need to be keeping an eye on this one here overall. Let's see here. Do I actually think it'll hit Newfoundland? Like I said, still way too early to tell. I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen in the U.S. East Coast or what it's going to do up there, yet alone areas way up in the eastern Canada region out there. I mean, there's still a lot of unknowns right now overall. So, but once again, everybody, yeah, look at the end of the cone here. The Hurricane Center has this thing at a mid-Category 4 towards, you know, right around September 10th here at 8 a.m., according to the Hurricane Center. We're talking sustained winds of 140 miles an hour with gusts getting up to 165, which is ridiculous. That's a crazy amount of winds. With that amount of winds, I mean, once again, that's going to be causing some problems, even though it's not a direct landfall for these areas. There's going to be some big waves out there towards Puerto Rico and, you know, not Dominican Republic. Well, maybe Dominican Republic, actually, depending on how close it gets there. But also the northern Lesser Antilles out there, you know, the Leeward Islands and stuff like that could definitely feel this, you know, in terms of that. But anyways. Let's see. But like I said, yeah, we're just going to keep you guys updated. Once again, this thing is expected to become a tropical storm here by, you know, possibly by later on this evening is a good possibility. And like I said, it's expected to turn into a hurricane basically for, you know, right around the morning of the 7th. So basically the day after tomorrow is when we're expecting this thing to turn into a hurricane. Like I said, once again, y'all, this thing has no limitations on it. I mean, this thing is just set solid to just rapidly intensify. We're not really expecting any limitations on it. You know, there's no wind shear to help, you know, rip apart the storm. There's no wind shear in it. There's a lot of moisture, and those surface temperatures of the ocean are very hot, which is going to allow for, once again, just rapid strengthening out of the system here. Let's see here. I don't swim in the ocean anyway. Shark food is not what I want to be. I hear you. For me, it was always jellyfish. I'm never really scared of sharks. Jellyfish are annoying. But it didn't stop me from, you know, getting in time to time. Even though it sucks, but But anyways, but like I said, yeah, we definitely got to watch out for it. And once again, like I was explaining, guys, I mean, we have an idea of what could happen after this point, and what that idea is it kicking out to sea? But I mean, once again, this is 5 days from now, from being at this point here. 5 days from now, and like I said, it's going to take 10 days from now to reach some of these areas that some of the models have it getting near. So, it's not easy to forecast that far out. And like I said, I don't like forecasting more than 5 days out because, like I said, obviously due to the amount of uncertainty in the models and stuff like that, that's the overall thing is that, the models are a little iffy, that far out overall. So, like I said, definitely is a big unknown here. But like I said, I mean, we have some idea as to what potentially could happen. Like I said, if I want to bring you guys back over here to the spaghetti models and stuff. Let's see here. Here we go. We got the new spaghetti models out here. But yeah, here we go. Here's a new spaghetti model plot. So you can see how, I mean, they're actually, the main models are very close together, which, does indicate there is a lot of agreement between the models. There's a lot of agreement in terms of track between the models. I mean, you can see at the end how they start to curve here. I mean, it looks like that's a good possibility as this thing could start pulling more to the north. But there's a couple of models that continue to the west here a little bit more overall. And like I said, with the ensembles here, I mean, still, once again, expected to pull north here for the most part. I think that's the most likely scenario. Same with this guy. I mean, most of the models you can see do pull to the north. But like I said, I mean, at the point being, it's not set solid yet. It's not set solid yet. Let's see. I think it'll hit some parts of land. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Like I said, obviously, if it does hit land, that would be pretty nasty. And like I was saying, in terms of the track and stuff like that, or sorry, in terms of the intensity and stuff like that, I'm actually going to bring back. I don't think we have the intensity guidance yet. But like I said, in terms of the the intensity and stuff like that, I mean, I honestly don't see a Cat 5 being ruled out here. I really don't, considering the amount of rapid development the system could go through, considering there's no limitations, hardly any limitations. I mean, we have a lot of strong wind shear. We have a lot of strong, lack of wind shear, I should say. A lot of strong lack of wind shear. There's no wind shear impacting the storm. There's a lot of moisture available, and those really warm surface temperatures of the ocean are, definitely really crazy. Really, really warm, actually. So obviously the system's kind of in hurricane heaven here. It's definitely in hurricane heaven. It's having really little to no limitations at all. So it's gonna be able to explode pretty quickly. All right, let's see what the GFS is showing us now. Golly, so this is the moment of truth. Let's see. Oh wow, so that cold front does kind of pull it up more to the north here, but at that point, it's getting pretty daggone close here to the northeast still. Look at that. Still getting a little daggone close to my liking up for the northeast, according to this latest model. Well, this is where it ends, but we're still getting... It's still coming through. The model's still coming through. It just hasn't rendered all the way yet. But, at this point even, it's getting pretty close to my liking. It looks like it's Sandy 2.0, according to this. And on the latest, yeah, look at the winds. Wow. Yeah, maybe even tropical storm force winds at that frame there could be a concern. As it approaches closer. Let's see, we have a new frame coming through. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope that doesn't happen. See, I'm watching from the Netherlands. Well, glad to have you here. Let's see here. Seems like it's more moving westerly than west-northwest. Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, I don't like that. The GFS has been like this for a couple days now. GFS has been saying, yeah, it's going to get a little close. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Boston may get hit. I'm not, like I said, obviously I wouldn't freak out if you're in Boston. I wouldn't obviously start preparing. It's no time to start preparing yet, but because we don't know where it's going to hit. I mean, we don't want you guys to get prepared. We don't want you guys to get prepared for something that's not going to happen quite yet. Once we have a better understanding and we are confident a couple days before it happens, I mean, we're still several days before it happens. Like I said, when we're only a couple days away before it happens, then I will let you guys know. Right now, I would just keep an eye on the forecast. There's no need to go run the storage dry right now across the East Coast, but, like I said, we'll just have to monitor this here for a little bit. Let's see. But yeah, no, GFS is... Well, that looks like it might be pulling back up to the north a bit here. Yeah, it was showing going right towards the coast and then pulling up last minute. I mean, that would cause some problems, because we have the the waves, the waters, moving basically parallel to the coastline here. I mean, it's pretty much parallel on the GFS model here. Getting some storms in Indiana today, hopefully not severe. Yeah, probably not going to be severe, but tomorrow we might have severe storms though. Yeah, we got some severe weather out across here. I'm going to briefly show you guys real quickly. We got some severe storms out across, the dark green and the yellow areas for today. Obviously, we have Wisconsin, upper state Michigan, and portions of Minnesota. Also, portions of Missouri, northwest Arkansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and a small sliver of southeast Kansas. That is inside of the severe weather threat for today, so it's possible. Any chance of it hitting Tampa area? Join the stream late to see any potential Florida impacts. So, like I said, with this system here, over and over, like I said, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but it's not expected at this moment. Considering most of the models have this thing pulling to the north. But, once again, like I was saying, 5 days from now, which is, a decent ways away in terms of weather forecasting, 5 days out is, pretty daggone far. That's like the limitation of what we can forecast for, mostly accurately. But overall, I mean, at that 5-day marker for September 10th, the storm's just going to be entering the East Caribbean. So it's going to be pretty far-fetched for talking areas, near Florida and up the East Coast and, obviously Bermuda and stuff like that. But anyways. So thank you, Andrew. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Let's see here. How it look in Louisville? My brother's supposed to drive there today. Louisville's not bad today. A couple thunderstorms possible this evening, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now, actually. See, hopefully this dip in the jet stream, dives more south throughout the sea. I'm in Rhode Island. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what it seems to be a possibility. Like I said, a lot of it is reliant on this high-pressure system that's possibly going to be in play here. I mean, for example, hopping back over here to the North Atlantic view. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow, that gets real close to Massachusetts still. Yeah. So you can see that high pressure, how it slips by to the east. And actually, according to the model, it goes south, kind of pushing it more to the left. You see that? The high pressure kind of squeezes its way down and pushes this system more to the left here. That has it going right through like Maine and Massachusetts and stuff. Holy cow. Let's try the northeast view. Yeah, wow, look at that. That's, yeah, according to that, Cape Cod would be getting like hurricane conditions. That is not good. Not good. But once again, this is just one model. This is not the official forecast. Remember that. Just one model's opinion. There's a lot of models to take into consideration. So, like I said, that's not a for sure track yet. I mean, at this point, you can see the time of this. This is September 16th, y'all. I mean, it's only September 5th. We have, what, like 11 days from now? Like almost, oh, see, hold on. Yeah, about 11 days from now is where this is at. So, like I said, don't worry. There's no... It's a little far away from this point, the point in being here. But anyways. But alright, guys. Well, I think we are going to go ahead and call it a stream. Once again, I got a lot of things I got to do today. I got to still work on my winter forecast. I'm not going to have that out today because I have to do coverage later today. We're going to do some coverage probably around 8 o'clock p.m. I'm going to go live at 8 p.m. Probably live until 9, or go through live. So start streaming at 8, go through 9, probably through 10, and maybe around 12 is where I'll end because the models seem like the storms are going to start dying around midnight or so. But we'll definitely have to do some coverage today across Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, portions of Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin here for today. So we'll definitely have to keep you guys in the loop and stuff. But all right, well, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, we'll catch you guys later on. We're not going to do another tropical update since we have coverage, but I'll do an update in the coverage live stream of the tropics, so we won't leave you guys unnotified. So like I said, just join our coverage later on today for once again severe weather update towards Minnesota. Like I said, Wisconsin, upper state Michigan, Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, even small southeast Kansas there. So we'll be live for this here. It actually looks like storms are already firing off. Look at that. So we have this low pressure system swinging through the the North and South Dakota line here. Yep, we got some convection popping off out there. Okay, well, yeah, we'll be live here probably around 8 because it looks like that's when they go really severe and stuff like that. So we'll just have to keeping out there for. But anyways, all right, you guys. Well, you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, we'll catch you guys later on here, and make sure that you guys are, staying weather aware, staying prepared, and stuff like that. And all right, well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the live stream. It's gonna head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So, got 2 more minutes to say goodbye to your friends, family, anybody in chat. And all right, well, you guys take care, and we'll catch you guys later on. Peace out, my friends. See you then.